What's up, family? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Yes Chef. I am your host, as always, Big Chef Dro. Today, we got one that was a little bit of a challenge, folks. The test kitchen was a disaster, but we figured it out. So I'm going to give you my take on the classic Bolognese. Come on, family, let's cook. All right, family. So, as I said at the beginning, the test kitchen was kind of hectic. So what I found out was Bolognese is a delicious sauce when it's made traditionally, but I just think it needs a little bit more flavoring to it. You know how I am. I like to balance things out. I like to give you layers of flavor, no one thing overpowering another. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna show you what I'm putting in to this traditional classic red sauce that's just gonna take it over the top. And I know there's probably some old Italian grandmother yelling at the computer screen now as she listens to me say all of this. But I think I found something that'll just add a little bit something to this dish. So come on, Jay, let me show them what we have here. So first off, we're gonna use some olive oil. I'm gonna use this stock pot. I got a half of a stick of butter in there. I'm gonna use the stock pot, and I'm gonna use it because in the test kitchen, I did the Dutch oven, and there's just not enough surface area for the amount of meat that I'm doing. Now, I'm cooking for the family, so when I cook for the family, I turn my camera on as well. You can decrease this, halving it up. So let's go over the rest of the ingredients. So here I have some Cabernet Sauvignon. Now, you're supposed to use a dry red wine or a white wine. You can use white or red. I'm choosing red, but the Italian reds are very dry. But this is what I have. I'm not spending $9 or $10 on a good bottle of Chianti or some other dry Italian red wine. This will do. This will do just fine. So I got my Cabernet here, $2 or $3 at Walmart. Here I have my thyme. This is going to be 2 tablespoons of thyme, 2 tablespoons of black pepper, regular old black pepper, 2 tablespoons of granulated garlic powder. Then I have 4 tablespoons of smoked paprika. I have 4 tablespoons of dry oregano, and then some salt here. Don't know how much I'm gonna use, but that's, as we go through, we'll add salt as we need it. And then a whole lot of garlic. You can use however much garlic you want. I always tell you, I'm really not into, leveling out or measuring out my garlic. I'm gonna use as much as I think is gonna be best for me. You use as much or as less that's gonna be best for you. Over here, we have 2 yellow onions that I put in the food processor. Some really small diced carrots. This is 2 cups. And then some really small diced celery. That's also 2 cups of celery. And then I'm gonna add some portobello mushrooms, okay? I think mushrooms gonna go good with it. I did it in the test kitchen, came out great. I'm gonna go ahead and stick with it. All right, here we have some nutmeg. This is the bag it comes in. This is whole nutmeg. This is going to add a level of flavor. It's a part of some people put it in their bolognese, some people don't. I do love nutmeg. And when you do it fresh, it's so much better than the ones that you get in a jar from McCormick's. It's not as potent, it's more flavorful. So I like that as well. And here I have some basil leaves from my garden. I'm gonna put some basil leaves in there. That's not really in a traditional bolognese or bolognese, however they say it. And then here I have some tomato paste. This is 6 ounces. And then I have 3 of the 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. Now you can get the plum tomatoes and crush them yourself. I got 3 of the crushed. Don't know if I'll need them but we got them just in case. So here is the milk, which is the secret ingredient to a good bolognese. I have 3 cups of whole milk, but then I have a cup and a half of heavy whipping cream, okay? That's gonna add a little something to it as well. And then I have my water, which I put chicken flavor, the Better Than Bouillon chicken flavor in, just in case I need some. And if I do, that's gonna add some flavor to it. All right, so let's get to the meat. All right, so here. So I go to my butcher and I buy fillets for my events. You know, some people want fillets or whatever. I go to my butcher and I get these fillets. And what I do is I'm usually getting, 7 or 11 or 15, 16 fillets at a time to serve to my clients. So what I do is I have the butcher grind up all of the trimmings, okay? It's so good. So this is filet mignon trimmings that I got from the butcher, okay? Now, it's been sitting out for a while, so it's a little oxidized, but this is the filet mignon. A little oxidized, but we're gonna make it work. So this is about 2.5 pounds of filet mignon trimmings ground up. Now, all right, over here, I have a pound of ground pork, and then I have 4 ounces of, 8 ounces of ground Italian sausage meat. Okay, so that's 8 ounces of that. A pound of pork, 2.5 pounds. So we're looking at 2.5, 3.5. We got about 4 pounds, give or take, of the meat that we're going to use. All right, so I'm going to clear all of this out of the way and we're going to get to cooking. All right. All right, folks, so as you see, the butter is starting to melt. Put a little olive oil in there just so it doesn't burn. The olive oil helps protect the butter from burning. So let's go ahead in with the onions. We'll get those in there pretty good. All right, so what you want to do is you want to start off with just a little bit of oil, a little bit of butter. You don't want it floating in there. You don't really want a lot of liquid because you want this meat to be somewhat of a paste. But I will say this, the filet mignon is trimmings, so there's going to be a lot of fat. Now, if you're using something like a chuck or ground beef or ground sirloin or something like that, ground brisket, ground prime rib, you're not going to have that much fat. So since this is trimmings, I'm expecting some fat that I may have to take out, okay? And if it comes to that, of course, I'll show you, but, don't let that dictate, how you're going to go about yours, because you're probably not going out there getting ground filet mignon. So, I have to because I have a business to run. So I want to get all the money I spend, So I have everything in here now. All right. So just going to let this start to cook off until it becomes translucent. I don't think I will need any more oil, but if I do, I will add some to it, but I think I'm pretty good. So once it gets translucent and we get ready to go to the next step, which is adding the meat, we'll be right back. All right, so actually we forgot to add our mushrooms as well. So if you're gonna use mushrooms, this is the time to add them before you add your meat. So this will start cooking off. I don't know why I'm sitting here chopping this up in the pan. I should have done it before this. But we're gonna go ahead and chop them up in the pan as best as we could, and we'll be back when we get ready to put the meat in. Okay, we have the mirepoix and the mushrooms all sauteed off. Now, if I didn't have the filet, the ground filet, I would put the garlic in. But the garlic is going to hold some flavor. And so if I have to spoon out some fat, I don't want that garlic to go out with it. So I'm not putting the garlic in now, though if I had some other type of beef or some other type of meat that wasn't, the trimmings and, so full of fat, I would put the garlic in. All right, so I'll go ahead, put that in there. And with this flat wooden spoon, once you break it up, it'll be easier to slice through it. A lot of flavor though, a lot of flavor in this meat. And if you have the means to go get a whole tenderloin, have them cut it up in some steaks. Have your butcher cut it up in some steaks and tell them that you want the trimmings ground, if that's what you want to do. They'll do it for you. They'll trim it, cut it up for you, and then they'll grind up all the trimmings for you. Go ahead in with the pork and with the Italian pork sausage. Chop those bad boys up real good. So I have everything mixed all in, and at this point I would be putting my seasonings in here and my herbs and my spices. But again, I don't know how this filet is going to cook down. So we're gonna let it cook. We're gonna see what happens. And when we come back, we'll move forward. All right, folks, so you know what? This meat is actually cooked down very good. Not too much fat than was expected. But I just wanted to be cautious. I didn't want to take any flavor out of the meat mixture. So we got all that out of the way. We're good to go. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and start seasoning up everything. Go ahead and go in with the oregano, the thyme, pepper, the garlic, and then smoked paprika. And we'll throw some of this salt off in there as well. Throw some of that off in there as well. Give that a nice little mix. And we'll let this cook. We'll let this cook into it. Man, it smells so good. All right, we'll give this about 5 or 10 minutes. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, let's go ahead and put this nutmeg off in there. Now, you wanna be able to have your Pyrex on something stable and safe. This Pyrex, not Pyrex, this microplane, I don't know why I called it a Pyrex. This microplane is very, very sharp. So you don't want it moving around, okay? You want it to be stable. If you have good balance, you can do that if that's what you want to do. But I like to put it on something, hold it down. And you see with these fresh nutmegs, you can use a lot of it. And you don't have to worry about that pungent taste that the nutmeg has that's in the jars. But be very, very careful with this because you can mess your fingertips up. So I used almost the whole thing. See that? All right, let's get that mixed around in there. We're nice and dry. So, I will say it was high quality was high quality tenderloin that I do get. I do get high quality tenderloin, so. Yeah. So we'll let the seasonings and everything kind of cook into this for about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, and then we'll be back. All right, so it's been about 6 minutes. So we'll go ahead and add that key ingredient, which is the milk. And then I'm also going to throw some cream off in there because in my mind, that's what it's supposed to do. It's going to come out just as good, folks, even better. So this milk and this cream, folks, you can't walk away from it. You got to stay here with it. So you got to let this, cook down, but you got to keep an eye on it, stirring it occasionally. Do not take your eye off of this once you put the milk in, or the milk and cream, or however you want to do it. You can do all milk, you can do some cream, some milk, half and half. You can do however you want to do it. So we're going to let that get back to boiling, and we're going to let that cook down. When it's where we want it to be, we'll come back and show you how it looks. All right, family. So the milk has cooked down considerably. We don't need to get all of it out. If we do that, we run a risk of scorching the milk, or just having it, burn or stick to the bottom. So we don't want to do that, but it's all out. It's not, when you stir it, it's not covering it. So we got a considerable amount out. Now we want to go ahead and do the, put the wine in. Again, I'm using this red wine. So this is, I'm gonna say, about a quart. This is about a quart, the whole bottle. So that's gonna be like 4 cups. If you want a half in this recipe, then go ahead and use half of, 2 cups or whatever. So I'm gonna stir that in, and we're gonna allow it to simmer and reduce again. So that's gonna come up to a boil. We're gonna, cook all of that wine off as well. And we'll get back to where we were before we added the wine. And once that happens, we'll be right back. All right, family. Okay, so that wine has cooked down considerably. So you don't see the meat kind of floating anymore, but it's kind of come together like a meat paste of sorts. So we're gonna go ahead and start adding the tomato paste, and we'll get all that out of there. I have 2 cans. I don't really know if I need 2 cans. I'll look at it and see. If I need to add it, I will. But hopefully this should be enough. You know what? Since there's so much meat in there, I'm gonna go ahead and add that second 6-ounce can to it. All right, so here is the other can. All right, second can is in. Stir that around, get that melted off in there. And this is really turning into a nice little meat paste, not a lot of liquid. Nice and thick. Oh man, this is beautiful. All right, so I am going to go in with some crushed tomatoes. Second can. Go ahead in with the third can. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead, get some of this chicken stock. Off in these cans. Then I'll just transfer it from can to can. Okay. Do the third one, same way. That way, we have everything we need. Then we're putting a little flavor in there as well. Now, it's the time for me to get my basil together. And I'll just rough chop it. And again, if you don't want to use basil, you don't have to. It's your preference. If you want to use more basil, you can. If you want to use a little bit of basil, you can. It's your bolognese. Like I said, this is my take on it. And remember, I don't like to cut my my fresh herbs until I'm absolutely ready to use them. Okay. And I may go in a little bit later and taste it and be like, nah, I want some more basil in it. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right, folks, so here's what we're going to do. So I'm gonna put this on the stove, on the electric stove. I'll turn this off and I'm gonna put it on medium low, okay? Not low, not medium, but somewhere in between. If it's too hot, I'll turn it all the way down to low. This is a pretty thick sauce at this point, so you really want to watch it. You really want to take care of it and come back in every 10 to 15 minutes, stirring it occasionally, making sure nothing's on the bottom. The sauce is nice and thick if you do it the way I just taught you how to do it. So I'm gonna put it on the stove for about 3 hours. I'll check it after 3 hours to see if it's okay. I want it to stay on there for 4 hours, but I think 3 is good because I did take about an hour and a half to prepare to get to this stage because the pot is so long, but I needed that surface space so all the liquid wouldn't get in the way. So I'm gonna look at it in 3 hours, taste it, and see what I think, and we'll go from there. So we'll see you in 3 hours. Also, just one quick tidbit. Do not put a top on your pot. Let it cook uncovered the whole entire time because you want the liquid to cook off. You want it to steam off. You don't want all of that moisture trapped into your pot or to your Dutch oven or whatever you're going to be cooking it in. So always remember that. Keep your top off of it, okay? All right, family. So after 3 hours, this is what we have. A nice, thick bolognese sauce. Look at that. Oh, man. So what you want to do is you want to keep some water or either some chicken stock like I did next to you in case it cooks down too fast for you and you have to add a little bit more water. You can add that to it. If you got some chicken base, that's fine to add to it, or some water, that's fine as well. But man, I've been tasting this the whole while through, and this is absolutely delicious. So we are going to get the pasta ready so we can plate this bad boy up. So now that the bolognese is ready, let's go ahead and cook the pasta. Tagliatelle. This is the traditional pasta that is supposed to be cooked with the bolognese. I went to the market to find some pappardelle. Didn't have any, but they had the tagliatelle. So traditional bolognese pasta. Shouts out to Mario's Italian Market. best Italian market in our city. So let's go ahead and get this ready. Now, this is semi-fresh. I'm not about to make pasta. I'm not about to deal with flour and all that other stuff. Easy way to do it, go get you some semi-fresh pasta that's in the refrigeration section of your local Italian market. You'll be good to go. All right, so let's go ahead, put this in here. No salt, no oil. This is gonna take probably at most 3 minutes to cook up. I got 2 packets because I have a lot of kids. Let's get this down in here. And this is gonna cook up extremely quick. All right, so with fresh pasta, semi-fresh pasta, you don't need any oil. The Bolognese, I've tasted it. It's nice and seasoned, so we don't need to put any salt into this pasta. Now, if you don't have a fully seasoned Bolognese sauce, or any sauce for that matter, then go ahead and season your pasta. And the way I understand it is, it should be seasoned like the sea. It should, the water should taste like seawater. So a lot of salt, but don't need it in this one. We put some salt in Bolognese. We had some chicken stock, which is salty as well. We're good to go. All right, so once this pasta is ready, we'll be back. All right, folks, so the pasta is ready. We'll go ahead, turn this off, get this out of the way, and we will bring on our chef pan because we do things the right way, and we are going to make sure that we add everything together. Now, a lot of starch in this, not as much as it would be if it was a hard pasta. All right. Oh man. So this is how, as I said in the spaghetti video, this is how you serve up pasta. You don't put the pasta on the plate and then put the sauce on top of it. You allow it to come together in a pan once everything's done. So, this is ready to go. And what I'm going to do is, I'll go ahead and turn this bad boy off. And I am going to get a beautiful taste of this Bolognese. Hold on, let me get a plate. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Look at that. Whew. A lot of steam coming off that, man. Go ahead and let it cool down a little bit. I don't want y'all talking about me when I burn myself. Because you know, y'all know the internet. Y'all can be some trolls at times. Oh man. Wow. 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 Boy, the Italians knew what they were doing when they came up with this one. One more bite, folks. Yeah, I'm gonna eat all this. I don't say. Talk about me all you want. Wow. Man. The version in the test kitchen didn't come out this good. But I thought about ways to make it different and better. Man, and this is what I got. Wow. Folks, you gotta try this recipe. Oh my God, it's so good. So, folks, if this is your first time tuning in to Yes Chef, I want to thank you for joining us. Go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to be a part of this family. If you're getting value out of the content, why not? Hitting the like button, subscribe button, it's free. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you will be up to date on everything that we come out with here on this channel. YouTube is tripping. They're not getting my content out to all of my subscribers. The only way to get that to be better is to hit the like button or even the dislike button. We need to get the engagements up so they can start putting my content out. So, hope you enjoyed what you saw today, folks. Until the next time, until the very next video, as always, family, peace.